This teacher thought she was putting a student in his place, but she had no idea she was about to witness something unforgettable. What started as an attempt to humiliate a quiet black boy in front of the class turned into a jaw-dropping moment that left everyone speechless, especially her. And the ending? You won't see it coming. Here's what happened. Don't forget to subscribe to Racism Watchdog and turn on notifications to follow this powerful story and stay updated. The school auditorium is silent. A single spotlight illuminates the stage, casting long shadows across the polished wooden floor. The old grand piano sits in the center, its once elegant surface dulled by time. Every eye in the room is locked onto a young black boy, Malik Carter, standing awkwardly beside it. His fingers tremble at his sides. His heart pounds in his chest. A low murmur ripples through the crowd of students seated in the dimly lit auditorium. Some lean forward in curiosity. Others exchange smirks, whispering under their breath. And standing just a few feet away, Ms. Judith Reynolds, the school's longtime music teacher, watches him with an expression of thinly veiled amusement. "Well?" she prompts, arching a brow. "Go on, Malik. Show us your natural rhythm." Her voice is smooth, almost sweet, but dripping with sarcasm. A few students chuckle. Malik grips the side of his pants, his breath coming in sharp bursts. He knows exactly what this is. It had started earlier that afternoon in music class. Ms. Reynolds had been discussing classical compositions when she suddenly turned her sharp gaze toward Malik. "You seem awfully quiet, Mr. Carter," she had said, tilting her head. "Why don't you show the class what you know about real music?" Her emphasis on the word real was deliberate. The room had gone still. Malik had hesitated. He wasn't one to seek attention, especially not in a class where he always felt like an outsider. Music was his passion, but Ms. Reynolds had never seen him as a serious student. Before he could respond, she had clapped her hands together with forced enthusiasm. "Come on, don't be shy. Let's see if you can play anything on the piano." Now, standing on the stage, Malik feels every pair of eyes drilling into him. Ms. Reynolds leans in slightly, her smirk widening. "Unless, of course," she says, her voice laced with mock concern. "Classical music isn't your thing? Maybe you'd prefer to play some rap beats? That's what you people do, right?" Laughter erupts from the students. Some cover their mouths, pretending to stifle their amusement. Others make exaggerated drumming motions on their desks. Malik's jaw clenches. His mother's voice echoes in his head. "They can laugh, but let your talent speak." He exhales slowly. "Don't react. Don't give her the satisfaction." "I'll play," Malik says evenly, moving toward the piano. Ms. Reynolds raises an eyebrow, clearly expecting him to fail. Malik settles onto the bench, his fingers hovering just above the worn ivory keys. He doesn't start right away. Instead, he takes a deep breath, closing his eyes. The room grows silent again. Then, he plays. The first note emerges, soft, delicate, but powerful. The auditorium, once filled with laughter, is now frozen in stunned silence. Malik's fingers glide effortlessly across the keys, each note ringing out with clarity and emotion. The opening of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata fills the air. The laughter is gone. The snickers have vanished. The students who had been whispering just moments ago now sit motionless, their eyes locked on Malik. A girl in the front row covers her mouth, stunned. A boy in the back, who had been tapping his pencil in mockery, slowly lowers his hand. The school jock, who had laughed the loudest, now leans forward, his expression unreadable. Malik doesn't just play, he tells a story through the music. His fingers move with the kind of precision and passion that can't be taught. It's effortless, natural. The way the melody flows, the subtle shifts in dynamics, it's something beyond talent. It's mastery. Even students who had never cared about classical music before are completely mesmerized. Ms. Reynolds stands stiffly near the piano, her arms crossed, her face paler than before. Her smirk has disappeared, replaced with something unreadable. Shock, maybe even disbelief. She expected Malik to fail. She wanted him to fail. But now, it's clear, she had made a mistake. A student in the front row whispers, "No way!" Another pulls out their phone, recording every second. The jock who had been grinning at Malik's humiliation just minutes ago is now sitting completely still, mouth slightly open. Even the usually distracted students, the ones who spend class on their phones or passing notes, are watching, hanging on every note. Malik plays with a maturity and depth that no one expected. The piece is haunting yet beautiful, full of raw emotion. He isn't just playing the notes, he's breathing life into them. His mother's words echo in his mind. They can laugh, but let your talent speak. And right now, the only thing speaking is the music. Ms. Reynolds clears her throat, trying to reassert authority. "Well, that's acceptable," she says stiffly. But her voice is different, uncertain, shaken. A student in the back blurts out, "Acceptable? That was insane." "Yo, Malik, do another one," another student calls out. Ms. Reynolds straightens, face flushing red. She steps forward, waving a dismissive hand. "That's enough. Back to your seat." But before Malik can move, a presence at the back of the auditorium goes unnoticed by most, until now. Standing by the door is Principal Evelyn Carter, a woman known for her no-nonsense attitude and sharp eye for talent. She has been listening the entire time. Her voice cuts through the silence. "I didn't know we had a prodigy in our school." A murmur spreads through the room. Malik blinks, his fingers still resting lightly on the piano keys. He turns toward the voice, finding the principal stepping forward, her expression unreadable, but there's something in her eyes. Ms. Reynolds swallows hard, shifting uncomfortably. The air in the room shifts once again. A heavy silence hangs over the room. Then, Principal Carter speaks, her voice warm yet commanding. "Malik," she says, stepping forward, "would you play something else for us?" All eyes turn to him. Malik swallows, his fingers hovering over the keys. This time, he doesn't hesitate. He nods and sets his hands back on the piano. But he doesn't choose another classical piece. This time, he plays something of his own. The moment the first chord rings out, there's a shift in the air. The music is different, raw, emotional, alive. It's not just a melody. It's a story of struggle, of resilience, of a boy who has been overlooked, underestimated, and mocked, yet refuses to be broken. His fingers move with purpose, weaving each note into something powerful, something undeniable. The emotion in the room is palpable. By the time Malik strikes the final note, the room is utterly silent. Then, applause erupts. It starts with one student, then another. Within seconds, the entire class is on their feet. Even those who had laughed at him before are clapping, some out of guilt, others out of sheer awe. A few students pull out their phones, not just to record, but to capture a moment they know they'll never forget. The jock who had mocked him earlier nods in respect. The girl who had gasped during his first performance wipes away a tear. Even the students who had never cared about music now understand they've just witnessed something special. Ms. Reynolds, who had expected Malik to be humiliated, is now the only one not clapping. She sits stiffly at her desk, her face pale. Her attempt to mock him has completely backfired. She had wanted to prove he didn't belong. Instead, she had just made him the most celebrated student in the room. "Malik," Principal Carter says, her voice filled with something rare, genuine admiration. "I'd like to recommend you for the State Young Pianists program." Gasps ripple through the class. It's an elite training program for gifted students. The principal continues. I had no idea we had such talent in our school. Malik's breath catches. This is everything he's ever dreamed of. Across the room, Ms. Reynolds stiffens. She knows what this means. This isn't just a compliment. This is an opportunity. A door opening for Malik that she never wanted him to walk through. She clenches her jaw. She has lost. Ms. Reynolds forces a smile, but it doesn't reach her eyes. Well, she says, her voice thin and unsteady. I'm glad I gave him the opportunity to show his skills. The words feel forced. Malik, for the first time, meets her gaze head-on. No, he says simply. You weren't. The class erupts into cheers. The prejudice will always exist, but talent and resilience will always rise above it. Never let anyone silence your gift. Let your talent speak. And finally, have you ever faced unfair treatment? Drop it in the comments if you believe talent can break barriers.